Sharon's chicken Francie's was always the centerpiece, sharp with lemon and parsley, filling every cranny of the Bensonhurst brownstone. But that night, the taste soured in my mouth before I even picked up my fork. "Pass your plate, Jamie," Sharon said, barely glancing at me, already serving my cousin Vincent. His daughter Mia nudged him in the ribs, snickering, her phone tilted to catch a photo of the steam curling from the crock. I gripped my fork like a lifeline, forcing the tines into my thumb until I felt a sting. Even that didn't match the heat flushing my face. Dad swirled his wine, eyes on the glass. "Well, your mother's still worried. Gonna tell everyone your news." The table straightened, everyone angling toward me. A dozen faces, brows furrowed, waiting, already judging. I let the Pinot burn its way down my throat. Out the window, the city shimmered like a far-off promise. If I focused, I could pretend the J train's ribbon of light could carry me away. "I got an offer," I said to the tablecloth. "Sue's chef, Brooklyn Heights, starting after New Year's. Italian-Mediterranean fusion." It's the word dream caught stuck in my throat. Aunt Angela laughed, slapping her napkin, the sound jagged. "How many restaurants go under their first year, especially with your education?" The air quotes. Always the air quotes. Vincent snorted through a mouthful of pasta. Mia hunched over her phone, but I saw her shoulders shaking with laughter. Even Gina, my older sister, shot me a look. It hovered between sympathy and dismissal. Her fiancé was scrolling through his phone, ignoring the whole thing. Dad waved me off. "Cooking's a hobby, not a job. You'll be 30 and still on my insurance, Jamie." My gut twisted. All the nights working in kitchens to heal after Mom died, the feeling of calm at the stove, none of it mattered to this crowd. I knew what I was now, a cautionary tale for future dinners. Under the table, Sharon's hand found my wrist, squeezing. "Hold steady." I tried, I really tried. I stabbed mashed potatoes, chewed, forced it all down while rage boiled under my skin. Vincent flicked a piece of tomato from his fork at my plate. "Imagine working for somebody else, not even the boss. I'll stick to takeout, thanks." The laughter ricocheted around the table. I looked for anyone willing to defend me, but there was just the red circle on the calendar behind Dad's shoulder, the day I'd move out. I didn't storm out or throw a tantrum. I just sat, vibrating, holding it in. Later, locked in my old bedroom, I packed my knives and cookbooks, folding hurt and anger between the pages. Those first months in Brooklyn Heights wore me down and built me up all at once. My feet burned, wrists spotted with angry pink, chef whites stained and impossible to clean, Subway shaking my bones at sunrise. The kitchen at Chanana was chaos, spoons clattering, Spanish, Polish, Bengali floating down narrow corridors. Chef Marquez ran the line like a drill sergeant, brutal, unbending. "Move," he barked. "No, not like that." Most days I worked prep, slicing onions until my fingers strung and eyes blurred. I made every mistake possible. Too much salt, sauces broken, overcooked duck. Marquez cursed me in Spanish, threatened to write me up, but every night I returned for the next battle. We ate shift meal at 2 a.m. Stale ciabatta dipped in broth, hunched on a back step, city garbage trucks thundering by. I swore I'd never fail, never crawl home for help. When my hands ached, wrists burned, or sleep wouldn't come, I heard their voices. "You'll regret this, just a cook, never a chef." Those cruel snippets built small wildfires under my ribs, dragging me up every morning before dawn. By summer, I fit in. Jokes tossed in 3 languages, scars and burns badges of entry. After service, Leon the pastry cook taught me to roll gnocchi. My hands fell into an easy rhythm beside his. One night I made chicken scarpariello, and for the first time the crew devoured something I'd cooked. We laughed, licking grease from our fingers, exhaustion making it sweeter. Later, putting leftovers away in the walk-in, Marquez gave me a measured look. "Not so bad tonight, Jamie, maybe you belong." That was a compliment in his language. The pay was pitiful, minimum wage, more than half sinking into a shoebox apartment, but when my dish finally made the specials board, money didn't matter. Fava bean stew over lamb finished with Aleppo pepper. My hands shook as I carried it to the pass, watched the dining room from the shadow, and saw a woman close her eyes after the first bite. I whispered, "Still here," and bought a muffin on the way home, eating it on the fire escape, a candle guttering in the wind. It was enough, a victory for a night. I willed every promotion into existence, scraping and clawing for them. By my 3rd year, I was lead line cook, running brunch, balancing poached eggs with a dozen shouting voices behind me. I'd toughened, learned every rhythm of the kitchen, but every time Dad called, he muttered, "Don't you want something more secure?" Each time I said nothing, pressing the phone tight until my jaw hurt, knowing he didn't mean to hurt me, just never understood. Family stopped mentioning me. I'd see the Facebook photos, birthday cakes and new baby Angela's garden parties. No one dropped by Chanana, no one asked for a table. I worked anyway, knife growing quick, station always spotless. When Marquez left for upstate, I became executive sous chef. Chanana nabbed a glowing Times review, warmth in the classics, comfort food made new. The kitchen cheered. I clipped the article, tucking it away, didn't send a copy home. 2 years later, Chanana shuttered, just another victim of crushing rents and shifting trends. Cooks scattered across the city, grasping for any gig that paid. For a week I drifted, certain I'd lost it all, but something kept burning, a stubborn hope. I hustled for work, paid my dues at pop-ups, catered block parties, rolled cavatelli by hand in the freezing rain at a Crown Heights bake sale while my hands went numb. Word spread, lines formed for my ravioli. I lived on adrenaline, sleep, and cheap diner coffee. That's how I met Lara. A sommelier with nerves of steel and spreadsheets for dreams, she steadied me without words, her hand on the small of my back. She said, "Don't let them scare you." We pooled meager savings, begged her cousin for a lease in Williamsburg, 12 tables, a kitchen so small I could barely turn around. We called it Candela. Painted it ourselves, mismatched chairs, chipped plates, string lights from a discount bin. I built a menu from memory, escarole with beans like Grandma's, Marquez's grilled shrimp, chicken Francie's like Sharon's but lighter, set over butter-slicked linguine. The night before opening, I barely slept. I broke a glass setting a table, hands trembling. Lara pressed her palms to my cheeks and said, "They'll see." The first reviews were a trickle, then a rush. "Nostalgia made electric," one wrote. "A chef who softens memory and serves it warm." We broke even by the second month, lines snaking down the block, city stories weaving through the dining room. Another glowing Times review, cut out, folded, tucked inside my jacket. But no family name showed up in the reservation book. Spring, the year everything changed. Candela brimmed with sun, kids chalking the sidewalk, light glittering off wine glasses. We worked from morning to moonrise, strength growing in me where the shaking had been. Parties booked every weekend, old colleagues came back to work, and every plate we sent out came home clean. On a rainy Thursday, Gina's name flashed on my phone for the first time in 2 years. "Are you around this weekend?" she asked, voice tight. Friday dusk, the door chime sounded, and in came four of them, Dad, Gina, Vincent, Aunt Angela fussing with her hair in the window reflection. Mia trailed, snapping pictures. They looked lost, uneasy among Candela's odd swirl of hipsters, retired teachers, babies wobbling between tables. I tried to calm my breath, wiped flour from my jacket, a chef's coat, white name stitched above my heart, and walked to where Lara steered them, center table. "Welcome to Candela," I said. The words tasted unreal after all those years. Angela stiffened, staring at the menu as if reading a foreign language. "This is really your place," she said, "and people eat here." A server laughed as she passed. A table by the window was posting photos of every course. Mia turned pink trying to take it all in. Gina gave me a small smile. "I saw your name in the paper," she said, just proud enough to make my chest tighten. I let them order whatever they wanted. Angela eyed the chicken Francie's. Dad went for the short ribs. Mia ordered risotto, Gina the handmade pasta. I retreated into the kitchen, nerves boiling at the base of my spine. The cook saw the tension in me, rallying tight. We cooked like a single organism, steady and silent. I plated each dish, smoothing sauce, wiping rims, checking every garnish. Carried them out myself, setting plates in front of family for the first time. Angela prodded her chicken, then lifted a forkful. Her eyes widened, she said nothing, but ate every bite. Dad finished his, slow, chewing, a glint in his eyes. Conversation faded into clinks and hums from the rest of the dining room. Mia snapped a photo of my name on the chalkboard, Chef Jamie Pressman, owner, with awe in her voice. Gina dabbed at tears. "Sorry I never came," she whispered. Vincent grimaced, finally muttering, "Guess I got it wrong." Angela finished her plate, licked sauce from her fork and cleared her throat. "Jamie, you made all this?" "Yes," I replied, my voice was even. After years of anger, only pride remained. Dad set his silverware down, looking at me for what felt like the first time in my life. "I may never understand this world," he said roughly, voice thick, "but I see what you built, kid. I'm proud of you." That hit me harder than any criticism ever had. After dessert, Lara's panna cotta bright with strawberry, I saw something settle and shift. The family, bellies full, cheeks flushed, finally saw proof. The packed room, the laughter spinning, photos on the wall, my name on the chef's coat. I walked them to the door. Outside, city lights gleamed. Dad lingered, hand heavy on my shoulder. "Come home for dinner soon, Jamie." He managed a warm, unguarded smile. You cook for us. I found myself smiling back. That's the deal. And I watched them walk into the night, Candela's sign floating above, a beacon against the dark, a promise made and kept. For the first time, I belonged everywhere I'd ever been.